Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready to get back into it? I know I am. Was able to bounce back a little bit on Trade the Pool yesterday. Now only down about 30 bucks on the account, ready to get after today. One trade can put us right back into the green. Of course, Nvidia comes in and rips, but will that be enough to hold the market up today? Find out why I think that just might not do it. Let's find out right here on Live Trading.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team, let's get to the action. You guys know where you're at. Live trading with Benzinga. Let's go ahead, smash the like. And like always, if you guys want to check out what we're using here from the prop attack, that's what I'm going to call it, the prop attack, because, hey, we're getting after it in the prop game. I do got a special guest for us today, and you guys might know him. This guy, Nick Brown, joining us in. He can't stay away for too long. You know how it is. We're all addicted to the trading life. Or in Nick's case, addicted to the news. But you guys know it. News by Nick. Nick will be here with us like always. And you guys see it not only on Twitter, but he's on X too. Oh, I forgot. It's the same thing. Yeah, definitely give him a nice follow there, guys. You guys see our socials. You guys can always follow us. Give us some questions. I always get DMs to reach out to me. Even my man, the Crow in the chat, be reaching out to me. So like always, guys, that's what we're here for. We're here to also back you guys and give you guys support. So sometimes I get traders just to reach out to me and then let me know how they're doing, right? And I'm always here to kind of help you guys continue moving forward. Of course, I can't tell you guys what to trade, but as a support system, I just want everyone to know I'm here for you. And I'm here for you too, Nick, always, right? Like always, that's one thing that I think Nick has definitely learned from me is that I'm always trying to push forward, whether that be teaching Nick certain things or Nick teaching me. And I think that that's the important part, right? And I even ask Nick's opinion all the time because, like always, everyone's opinion matters, especially if you're putting in the time and efforts into the market. You guys let us know what you think in the chat. You guys can always call out plays, call out themes, call out stocks. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to help each other out. And especially, it's not about trading for each other, but at least letting each other know, hey, do you see this stock rocketing? It's opportunity, right? Let's keep looking into the market. Let's take a look here. I'm going to be watching some trades, of course, today to see what happens. Of course, Nvidia is the show keeper today. And you can see right now at 9, this popped really quickly. So let's see if this can hold the rally here into the open. It's 9:12. We still got a couple minutes before the open. I'm going to be watching stocks like Microsoft. Microsoft is actually coming down here. And that's, I think, a telling sign. This is one of the stocks that I traded yesterday. And definitely, if I held it, I would have probably got a huge win overnight. But we're going to look to see what happens today. A big stock for me also will be watching the banks. Will the banks come back like they did yesterday? Of course, these banks have been dropping pretty fast as of late. Came back some yesterday, but I have a feeling that we might see some leaking coming in this today. So one way to play this is also with the FAZ. Now it pulled back some here, and there's a couple of lows in similar areas right around the 1860s, 1870s level. And then I'm going to look to see if we recover 19. If we start to make our way back to 18, yeah, this is going to be where you see kind of these tech trades, these bank trades kind of lift to the upside. KRE is another way to play this, maybe shorting the KRE, right? I have a feeling that we might run into some more regional bank issues. So a part of me will also be watching the KRE today. It did do a small bounce yesterday. I feel like it could go right back down towards the 43s and 43.20s today. That isn't the biggest outlook, but still a shorting opportunity. We'll see what happens there. And then, of course, I'll be looking around at all different types of names. Cruise lines tried to get the jump yesterday. We'll see what happens on those names. Airlines is still something I have. And for my swing trading action, I can tell you guys, American Airlines, RTX is one that I have, and WFG. So we'll see what happens on these positions, if they want to get the move or not. But that's going to be my outlook. And like always, you guys can throw up stocks in the chat. I do want to let you guys know that everything you guys see here, trade to pool. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about it, let me know, guys. And Smoke Tuna, when are you taking Nick to have a beer? Well, Nick, how many days do we have until you're 21? Because I don't think I'm going to be pushing underage drinking anytime soon. So
we still have some days. No worries.
still some days. Nick's like, dude, don't make me 21 already. How old are you, Nick? Really? Like, just so the chat can know out there. Do you want to put it out?
17. I'll put it out. 17.
17, guys. Look at that. 17 years young, but looking gorgeous, baby. I love it.
I'm not in a suit today just because, it's just my last day and I didn't have time to run home. I was already out this morning. Didn't have run time to change real quick.
Hey, I love it, guys. We'll definitely keep coming after it. Stock pigeon was like 19 at the oldest. Look at that. Some people were saying 16. Hey, enjoy your youth. That's for sure, guys.
They were close. They were close.
I'll tell you one thing. I'd take 17 again. We could switch positions, Nick. You could be a little older.
Okay, we could try it.
All right, let's take a look at some stocks that are moving out there. Of course, you guys will see also stocks here at the bottom. If you guys see anything that catches your attention and you guys want to talk about it, let me know. This TSHA going up today, some smaller names definitely making some moves. If you guys see anything, definitely mention it. Ryan will be joining us in just a few minutes, and I'm sure he'll have some outlook on some smaller names. Let's talk really quickly about the Nvidia earnings. I'll let my man Nick Brown take control on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mitch, earnings this year, or I should say this quarter, again, blew expectations. EPS, you could just take a look at that stock. It just shows really what was going on. EPS came in at $2.70. Estimates for $2.07. Revenue, $13.51 billion. Estimates for $11.04 billion. Adjusted gross margin, 71.2%. Estimates for 70.1%. Gaming revenue, $2.49 billion. Estimate was for $2.38 billion. Data center revenue, $10.32 billion. Estimate was for $7.98 billion. They see Q3 revenue, $16 billion, plus or minus 2%. Estimate was for $12.5 billion. They approve an additional $25 billion in share repurchases buyback. And Nvidia, going through the release quickly, they said that the data center revenue was a record. If you count with AI and stuff, they report an 88% jump in revenue and top estimates. And so Dennis Dick, pre-market prep co-host, always says, hey, what do you want to count for AI? So I counted AI, and this time it was said 104 times. Now, how
Is that the top? Is that the top, Nick,
yes,
from all companies?
104 times. I believe it is. So
there you go, guys.
It down for you, because I normally don't do this, but I think it's interesting with Nvidia. So before Q&A, they said the word AI 54 times. During Q&A, they said it 50 times. Now, just because I'm a little extra and I like to get a little bit of extra in, I went back last quarter and I counted AI in total, and they said it 105 times. So they said it one less time this quarter. I don't know if it makes a difference, but someone on Twitter or X said, hey, how does the AI play into seasonality with the volatility? If they say with so many times, stock go up 2%. So I don't really know, but I think Dennis and I may want to work on that. And Mitch, Ryan, if you want to join in on this, try and just kind of nail down, if you say AI so many times, how does your stock react? I think would be very interesting in this sector. I mean, going through the price targets this morning, I've never seen anything like this. Rosenblatt goes to 1,100 with their new price target from 800. And they say NVIDIA's epic print and guide 2 quarters in a row is simply unprecedented and just getting started. Now, there's other price targets on the street. B of A goes to 650 from 550. Raymond James goes to 600 from 500. Key Bank goes to 670 from 620. 630 from 570 at Wolf. Piper goes to 620 from 500. I mean, there really isn't anything that's not getting upgraded. The only thing is Stifel doesn't move their price target at 600. They only upgrade to buy from hold. Other than that, you have Westpark going to buy from hold, keeping their price target at 690. So we are seeing a little bit of mix of a bag reaction, just because not many people expected. I mean, a lot of people expected this to happen, but there's always that slim chance that you're not going to be able to beat significantly and raise the guide for 2 quarters in a row. So this is something unprecedented that we have not seen in a while. Nvidia is set to open at a record this morning, up over 500. But when you question 1,100 price target, where is there any more room for it to run? I mean, how do you get Nvidia to 1,100? What are you going to have to do? But again, AI, they're really not showing us the money, and we've been pressing that. And so take my thoughts with a grain of salt. It's just, I don't think Nvidia is going to go to 1,100 in the long run, because I think coming down the line, maybe it's not going to be this quarter, but in the few quarters ahead, they're not going to be able to keep beating and raising the guide significantly. There's going to be a slowdown down the line.
I agree. I think just to echo what you're saying here, I did catch one of my most important quotes in, of course, the earnings call was given by Nvidia's CEO. And you guys take this how you guys want to take it, right? Listen to the wording. It was stated that $1 trillion of data center is in the process of transitioning into accelerated computing and generative AI. And so the main thing that I think I catch there is the process of transitioning. What does that mean? That means that it's slowly working its way, that they're building products, not necessarily making money from these products right now. And so Nvidia, of course, gets the boost because they have the platform to build these products. So that's why Nvidia is getting the boost now versus some companies not getting the boost now, because they're building products versus actually making revenue off of this right now. So this is why I talk about how AI is in the future, not necessarily what you're seeing today. And so the revenues will come, but they'll come in slowly, like Microsoft said, gradually, as they work their way to releasing these products and then making revenue from it. This is why I'm calling more of an AI hype bubble versus the true AI that everyone's thinking this is. I think this is very similar to the metaverse, very similar to how you saw digital assets come into the markets, very similar how you saw blockchain and cryptocurrency. It's going to come in waves. I think technology has a tendency of coming in waves. We're seeing the first wave, and then we should see a pullback on that as you're seeing building turn into products, then revenue. Once you see that switch from products to revenue, that will be the second wave of AI. I will be waiting for that. I just don't think that's right now. And Ryan Faluna joining us, of course. You guys know my man. Fixing it up, changing it up. You got to go to the mic settings, I'm sure. There
Test.
we go. Okay. All good, baby.
So
I have
we're doing good. First of all, I'm sorry I'm late. Definitely have some thoughts. Good morning to everybody. I want to follow up on this. I did just want to answer a really quick question here. Let me see if I can find it. Jesse is asking, Ryan, how are the streets around the office? Well, the streets are popping here. It's actually raining today, but Detroit beat my Cubs, so the streets are popping. Good to see you here this morning, Jesse. There was a lot of talk about, right when I joined, about Nick, being impressed with Nick, being able to do this at 17. I'd like to echo one of the other viewers here who said at 17 I was doing some not so good things. Nick, I wish I was in the market when I was 17. I liked it. I watched Wall Street. I went to high school on Halloween dressed as a stockbroker one time. So really wish that I would have stuck with it there. I would just encourage you to keep it up. Now, as far as Nvidia goes, so you guys know I was short for the print by holding NVDS. I closed it in the after hours when Nvidia beat. I took like a $200 loss. So not really that big of a deal. If we get any type of pullback here in Nvidia today, I'm going to be watching NVDS for potentially earning my money back. We'll see if that ends up happening. On a larger picture here, you guys are talking about what Nvidia could mean and that whole AI thing. The way I would look at this is I would compare this to the internet bubble. Back when everything had .com in it. I guess they called it the .com bubble, not the internet bubble. The internet is here to stay. It was here to stay when that happened, but still there were companies that went crazy and then no longer exist here. We are absolutely going to see the exact same thing in the AI space. Not every company that mentions or says they're getting involved in AI are going to make it. I think, John, you were saying earlier, AI is going to be the next transformative technology. I do not argue with that. I agree with that. But like Mitch was saying, there's going to be a figuring out process here. We're in the hype stage where everything that mentions AI goes up, and eventually that's not going to be the case. Now, let me be very, very clear. Nvidia is your leader here. They are on the leading edge of this, which is why they're seeing such amazing numbers and why they have some of these really, really high guides and all of that. I don't expect Nvidia to crash and not be a company anymore. They're the leader. They're going to stick around. But all of these other AI companies are going to go through ups and downs. So kind of keep that in mind. Now, when we take a look at the SPY here, this is actually something I was discussing with 13. I don't know if he's here yet, but he should be joining us at some point. He's the technician that really kind of comes on happy hour a lot. And we talk a lot about the market. Really, the question is this pullback done? And is this the start of a new AI-driven rally? I think that's the question that everyone wants to know the answer to. If that is the case, if this is the start of a new AI-driven rally, I expect the highs here at 480 to get taken out on this rally. Otherwise, I think that eventually this subsides and we kind of trade back down. The market is really due for a correction. And I don't think that this last little correction here or this last little trade down is sufficient for that. So I don't know the answer to this. I don't know yet. I think Nvidia is a great company. I obviously was trying to be a little too cute, trying to short it for that print, but that's okay. We used risk management to make sure that we stayed safe there. So my big question here is this pullback over? Are we going to new highs here? Are we going to do it on the backs of AI? We should find out over the next several sessions. Don't forget, Jackson Hole Symposium is tomorrow. That's going to be our big economic event and our big market moving event going forward here.
Brian, I will say we actually have some Fed speakers because Jackson Hole's actually today, tomorrow, and over the weekend.
Powell's speech is tomorrow.
Yes, Powell's speech is tomorrow, but we also have a lot of Fed speakers between today and tomorrow. And then there's even going to be ECB President Christine Lagarde on Friday, 3 p.m. And then there's going to be different Fed speakers throughout the weekend. So there's going to be some volatility today, tomorrow, and even Monday as we continue through the weekend.
Okay. That's great. And that's, like I said, that's probably going to be the big thing for the rest of the week here. That's then going to spill over into next week. I'm going to take a look at the movers tool. I'm going to try to go through this really, really fast. I know we've only got 4 minutes till we open here. Nick, if you have anything else that you'd like to add after this, let's do it. I'm going to start here with Nvidia. Let's see if this runs. The big thing that I want to see is that if we break down beneath 500, maybe there's going to be a short-term trade to the downside. I would be very, very careful on this one, especially if you're going to go short on Nvidia, because obviously they just had a really huge catalyst and it's really, really good. So I'm just thinking, again, because I lost money on the short side, if there's any type of profit-taking move here, I might try and capture that. I want to be very, very careful about not making this into a revenge trade, but I want to see how Nvidia trades out of the open here. Now, as far as some of the smaller names go, we have some more names on the list here. First one's going to be Brush. This is Brush Oral Care, ticker BRSH. This is actually looking really, really good here this morning. I did not see any news on this, but I saw a nice move up to about, 344. Pull back beneath the VWAP reclaim on expanding volume and a push up to these highs. Let's see if we can take out 344, maybe go to 350, maybe even go to 4 on Brush. This one in play here today. Next one here is going to be TSHA. We've traded this one before. Let's see if TSHA can give us some of the same type of action that it gave us in the past. Remember, if we go back here, if we take a look at the 15-minute chart, this day right here, Tisha gave us a great trade. Now it looks like we're kind of trading back up here. Let's see if we actually get that. One of the things I'd be looking for here is a takeout of this pre-market high. I love that we're above the VWAP. A pull back to VWAP would be even better for a trade here. I feel like I'd be getting a better, more safe entry if we pulled back to the VWAP. So TSHA, definitely keep this on your radar here today. Knowles diamond in the rough, as I like to call it, EOSC. This popped after hours yesterday. We kind of bled some of it back here. Let's see what happens when the volume actually pours in when the market opens here. We're right beneath VWAP, a nice VWAP reclaim. Some expanding volume should give us a really nice trade here. Breakout above 380 would be excellent. One of the other things that I wanted to mention here real quick, Palantir. I know that they're trading up here. One of the things they're probably trading up here on the backs of the strong earnings from Nvidia. This is actually what our news desk is telling us. Several semiconductors and AI-related stocks are trading higher in sympathy with Nvidia. The one thing that I wanted to draw your attention to here on Palantir is that yesterday late at night, we actually saw some directors selling some of their shares here in the high 14s, mid to high 14s. So let's see if this rally continues here in Palantir. Maybe we get a little bit of pullback as people digest those SEC forms. I don't know. We'll see. It's also worth noting that I noticed that SoundHound, so some of these other smaller AI names in the gap list here this morning, those are likely going to be in play with in sympathy to Nvidia as well. Nick, you got anything else you wanted to cover before we open up here? Okay, if you don't, probably
I'll just say we had T-Mobile. I'll say, yeah, T-Mobile, they're going to cut 5K jobs. That's about 7% total. Basically, the company reiterates the fiscal year 2023 guidance. It previously stated or issued, so really nothing much there. Just watch Nvidia, watch the AI makers. We get Marvell, I believe, tonight. We'll have an AI count tomorrow morning before school on Twitter, so look for that. Other than that, Ryan, it's been a wonderful year, a wonderful summer, I should say, with you guys. And I'm out of here. Have a great show, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, Nick, sounds good. Thanks so much for everything that you do. We hope to see you back as soon as possible, my man. Have a great one.
If I have to call in, I will call in.
Okay, perfect. We will keep the red phone open for when Nick needs to call in. If you see me going to a red phone, you know exactly what's happening here. By the way, BRSH looking like it's trying to take out 330 here. We'll see if we end up doing that. Market is open, folks. Let's see what we got here. Folk, that's actually a nice call. See if we get some more in Folk here today. BRSH trading up here. Looks like my thing is lagging a little bit here. Okay, so BRSH, my chart's actually a little bit behind here. I'm sorry. In fact, I'm still connected to the stream, so I don't know. I'm having some connection issues here. BRSH trading up, printed a high of 376 here, currently at 368, although it looks like my platform is lagging a little bit here. So just keep in mind, I'm on TD Ameritrade on a different computer, and I'm having some connection issues here with TD Ameritrade. Let me actually try rebooting my browser. Glad I'm not in a trade to start off with. Okay, that is starting over. Let's run through what we see here. BRSH, really nice move out of the open here. See if we're going higher. You were also looking at Folk. That was a smoke tuna call. I'm getting all kinds of connection issues in here. Mitch, save us. Save us, Mitch. Folk, first move here is down. Okay, looks like my scanner might not be running here. Oh, there we go. There we go. BRSH at that 4 spot. Yeah, but see, it's not loading my chart. I'm having all types of connection issues. You guys, I'm not breaking up on your end, right? Like the sound, everything sounds okay. The video doesn't look like it's stopping either, so it looks like everything's all right. All right, maybe just an issue for me. BRSH flirting with 4 there. I just heard my microphone cut out. Crystal clear. Okay, sweet. Well, as long as we're clear, we'll keep running. Sound is good. You're good. Okay, awesome. Awesome. BRSH, this is really the best. Let me see if I can load this up. This is really the best setup so far. I definitely missed it, but that's okay. We'll see if this sets up again. Move through 4 here. Keep an eye on that volume. If this volume dries up here, probably have to take this off or just look at something else in the meantime. Would love to see this move through 4 on some higher volume. TD Ameritrade having issues for me as well. Okay, so it must be a TD thing then, because yeah, it just, I don't think StreamYard is lagging. It's just my broker, which is on a separate computer. Anyway. Yep, price is right on now. All right, let's see what else we have here. And let's actually see what Nvidia is doing here out of the open. Yeah, I'm still dealing with something here. I wonder if it's the office internet, because this computer and my computer are on the same thing. Man, I'm sorry, folks. What the hell is going on? Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. Feel really bad. Holy cow. Okay, so Nvidia, this is the profit taking move that I was talking about. If we broke beneath 500, which is exactly what we did, it was immediate 7 points on that breakdown here. Oh man, technology hurting here today. Technology hurting me here today, folks. Do you have another account you can use? Well, I mean, it's the same internet connection, so I'm not even sure that that's going to resolve it here. Nvidia might be bouncing here. It looks like the low it printed here was 490, bouncing off that 490 level. BRSH coming in a little bit here, but that might make another move back towards the highs. Actually, way too nervous to take that right now. VFS, this stock has just been an absolute monster recently. 43 here this morning, up another 16%. Nvidia, pretty strong bounce here off the lows too. BRSH tried to bounce and go back through 4. A huge pull, big selling here in BRSH. Oh my. I'm watching BRSH right now on my other machine. Let me see if I can pull that chart up here. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying, folks. I'm fighting technology here today. Yeah, I better not even take this trade, honestly. Let me try refreshing. I'm sorry Mitch isn't here. SXTC, Wiss, I did see that on the scanner here before I refreshed. I know that's a penny stock. Call it out, though, while I'm trying to get this booted back up. Okay. Looks good. Everything looks good. There we go. BRSH going for that 4 spot. BRSH took that 4. Nice play off this VWAP here. Too slow for it, but we did take out 4. Going higher here now. 440 a high. Nice job on Brush. If any of you folks took that, amazing move here. You had to be fast though. Huge 50-cent pull right off that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is all over the place right now. Still kind of flirting with that. Still kind of flirting with that 4 level here. Big seller came in there at 390s. Let's see. This is trying to break back above 4. There we go. Yeah, Secret Treasure saying Nvidia FOMO will hit many people today. Wait for it to find its level. I agree with this too. I would imagine that there's going to be some chasing in there. Apple at lows, SPY at lows, Tesla at lows. I don't even know if I want to mess around with this given my connection issues here today. Let's check in on Nvidia. Jason, I will check on that for you here in a sec. Nvidia is still holding this area down here in the low 490s. That would really need a VWAP reclaim and probably a 500 reclaim to go higher here. BRSH still looking pretty good. Jason, you wanted to know my opinion on Foot Locker. I don't like this. I'm still in the camp that I think the consumer is going to weaken. I would kind of consider this to be more of like a back to school play. I'm not sure if those really kind of get some movement here. We do have a nice gap here if this can really start to recover, but that report was really, really horrific. I'm not sure how long this bounce is going to last. I have no position in Foot Locker. I would say that you can trade this if you have some long-term angle on it. Great. For me, though, I don't know. I want to see some things turn around here. Smoke Tuna giving you some really good advice here. Waiting for some consolidation would be great. I mean, the one thing, if you're trying to play this gap fill, if you think this is going to bounce and fill this gap, you probably can't wait for that consolidation. But for maybe a longer term here, I would listen to what Smoke Tuna is saying here. Wait for some consolidation before making a choice there, or before taking a trade there. If you're just going to trade, if you're just options trading and you're trying to trade this bounce here, giddy up. I mean, I'd look for, possibly a gap fill in here. I wouldn't take that trade personally, but just saying. BRSH pushing up to 420, a little bit of size there at 420. Right back on. Let's see if it takes out 420 here. Looks like my platform is kind of stabilizing here. We'll see. Careful on BRSH if it loses 4 as well. Still has.
What up?
Oh, Mitch, I'm so glad you're back. I am having massive technology issues here. Everything on my end is lagging. Might be the internet here in the office.
It's internet all around, man. I've been hearing multiple people having some data issues. So
I had my broker wasn't working. Thankfully, I wasn't in a trade.
Okay, so we're not the only ones, man. It seems like there's real issues going all around. And one thing that I can tell you guys, of course, right out the gates, what do we see? Technology leading the downside action. Nvidia down big here already. That's interesting to see. Will we see a 945 reversal? One thing I can tell you, and Microsoft got the plunger right there, and I'm gonna look to see if Microsoft can come back, but it definitely looked like it, man. You see this right here? This is the plunger. You see the long stick with the little thing at the bottom. We know what happens with that little thing at the bottom. You don't want it to be at that bottom there.
I love it. I've never heard that one before, Mitch, but I absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's my new one. They pulled the plunger on it.
Robert asking if I know about the fractional shares. You know what? I've heard about that, but I've never actually participated in buying any type of fractional shares on TD or any other broker for that matter. So I don't have any experience with that.
I haven't done that yet, but I'll tell you right now that's a cool way for like smaller traders to play bigger names. I'll tell you.
Yeah, it sure is. Especially if you have a long-term view, Mitch. I think that's really where you're really going to benefit from that. Like if you had bought Nvidia 2 years ago and it was only a fractional share, you'd have more than a full share now with the split and everything.
Exactly. Shit like that, right? Let's just be honest. And I try to even use a little language there to wake you up, because to tell you the truth, things like that is actually pretty smart, right? That's an advantage to retail traders. Why not use the advantage?
Yeah, you don't have many of them, so it's important to use the ones you do have. I like that, Mitch.
Exactly, man. We got to know when we're given edge, right?
Yeah, you got to be able to identify that and then use it. I like that a lot. By the way, 420 here on Brush. It actually took it out and pulled.
Put you up, big dog. I don't know what Brush is, so
Brush is
why is this one moving?
So Brush is one of the smaller ones that was actually on the list here from the movers tool. This is not one of the ones that had news. This is just kind of trading on momentum. I think we've actually traded this one before. That and Tisha were the ones that were on here. The big thing that we had was the move out of the gate, which I was not able to participate in given my technology issues. Really nice move out of the gate. They really kind of yanked it, didn't quite get to the VWAP, so not the easiest entry, but went right back on, ended up taking out 415, 420 here, size at both of those spots. So we'll see if Brush moves higher. 440 was your high of the day. We'll see if that gets taken out as well.
All right, one area that I am keeping an eye on right now is on that stock specifically. So pullbacks at 343. What do I see this pattern? This to me is a cup and handle. So you see the cup here, all the way up there towards 328, 330s. And then you get a small little handle here on the pullback right before the open. And then 925, you already started pushing into that handle, and then you broke the pre-market high. And so that actually helped you get that momentum through. Now pullbacks towards this 340, I'd want to see hold and get back up there. So right now I'd be looking for pullbacks there, but of course I'm not jumping in here at like 420s. I just feel like it's a chase at this point.
That's my issue too. And I really want, like, it would be great. I have VWAP here at 357, Mitch. Now, unsure if we're going to end up getting there, but I would really like a pullback to one of these levels to give us entry, because so far this has been really, really strong. Volume looks great here. I know it's declining, so I don't necessarily want to be on the backside of this move. Let's see if we actually find a level and induce some more volume expansion.
Guys, it looks to me like I'm going to be looking for any type of VWAP pullbacks on AI names that aren't real AI, as I'll refer to it, like C3 AI. I don't think this is real AI, and if it comes back to me at the VWAP 3280s, I'm willing to short it. I'm seeing them just get pounded right now at the gates, and so just be careful with stocks that are a little bit bigger, like let's say an Adobe, but even that's getting hit right now. Man, Nvidia down here towards 487 now. Are we going to see Nvidia go back to yesterday's action? If that happens, oof, Katie barred the door. There's going to be some people trapped.
Looks
Look at
like
that. That thing's filling in the gap. Where could it fill the gap to, guys? So this first spot right here, I'd be focusing on a high of 481.87. So we're still a little ways from there, but that'd be the first level that I'd see if maybe Nvidia catch some dip. And it's a quick little pullback there. I'm glad I was a little bit weary of tech today. I wasn't able to trade like success out the gates. That's definitely moving strong. I'd look for pullbacks there to 940 and 935. I want things to look like they want to completely reverse, and then I'll take the shot. But if it doesn't look like it's going to reverse, it's going to be hard to jump in here towards the end or at the top end of here. And another thing that I'm looking at is what else is going to go red today. I got basic materials, cyclicals, and industrials. Energy now starting to go red. And man, this was a little bit of a gap down here on the day. XOM coming down.
Real quick, Mitch, I'm sorry. While you were doing that, one of the things that I talked about earlier is that I might want to make some of that money back with NVDS. So that's what I was just doing here. Real quick, someone asked earlier about GMBL. This was a stock that Zoltan here at the office actually looked into. This stock has been just unbelievably poor performing. Someone was asking what the news was. Didn't see any news in here. I know this popped as high as 24. Look at the weakness. This thing has been unable to get back over its VWAP. I'd be very, very careful with GMBL. I forgot who asked that earlier, but I took a look at that. What I'm doing to trade Nvidia now is I'm trying to use this NVDS. So yesterday, just to kind of recap what happened here. Yesterday, I sold right in here, about 32.50. When it was really kind of selling off. When it bounced off that low again and started to trade back up, I was like, you know what, I'll just close this position and try to earn it back tomorrow. So right here, when we broke out of this formation, scalp 1 of 1 done. I've got back 1/4 of what I've lost yesterday. So I'm already trying to scratch some of this money back. I'm out of this position right now. I'm really going to kind of watch Nvidia and then maybe watch what NVDS is doing here in relation to the VWAP and all of this. With this being extended from the VWAP right here, I don't really like the entry. I took this entry before because it sure looked like this was going to go higher, and Nvidia was breaking down. Mitch was covering that as it happened, so I was actually able to scalp that. I'd be looking for another setup here on NVDS. We're going to keep an eye on Nvidia all day here. So really, really happy. Already clawing back some of the money I lost on my short from last night.
All right, guys, I might be a little addicted to this position here, but I'm getting a little bit short of MPC. Why? I see crude just dropping fast right now out the gate since 828. It's just been a drop there. It's back to 77. And so with that being said, another one could be drip, right? So I'm going to also look for drip on this pullback to see if I can get some of this pullback, especially on like an hourly trend line pullback here that I could see off the pre-market and yesterday's action. And you can see here, nice little pullback into this space wouldn't look too bad. 1070s, and then the lift right back towards 11 today. I'll keep an eye out on that. Oil is dropping fast today. And of course, technology plays still dropping fast. And we keep our eyes on the Qs. That's still coming down. I still haven't seen a move back to VWAP. So let's go to this MPC. I'm willing to add on it. The spread is what's keeping me slow into this position. I only have 25 shares right now. That's keeping me small and into this play. And I think that's important. I got to come into it slow because this one, the spread gets a little wide here. It's about 20 cents wide. So we'll see what happens if we do get this next downside action. Oil is bouncing a little bit here, but I think it's going to get rejected here off of VWAPs a lot. So I'm going to be watching for that. Like XOM back down through 106 would be kind of a different stock that I could look for to see it get the takedown. What are you seeing out there?
VFS, Jay Wild calling it here in the chat. VFS trying to take out this 48 level. This thing been strong all day. Look at the pattern that we're making here. Push up, pull back to VWAP. Then we get push that corresponds with buying volume. Pull back to VWAP. Now we're getting a push here. What do you think I'm waiting for next on VFS? You got it. Pull back towards VWAP. So if we pull this thing back at all, it might take a couple of minutes for this to do. If we pull back anywhere near this VWAP, I think you might be able to try this again. Secret Treasures is long Nvidia. Are we playing a bounce here? Is Nvidia bouncing? Because I do see, well, NVDS is actually kind of holding up here. Let's see if we get a bounce play here on Nvidia.
That's I kind of don't like the way that NVDS trades. To tell you the truth, I've started to lean more that I might want to just go for Nvidia overall moving forward. You're going to get the flush downs a lot more. And so, yeah, it's a little bit more risk, I feel like, but when you go for Nvidia, but you get more reward too. So I don't know why. I just don't see I get the similar kind of moves. Maybe it's I don't come in with the right share size. Of course, that could always
play into
it,
so that's actually a really good point, Mitch. So just so we understand, like the position of NVDS that I held overnight was extremely small. I'm using almost 10x the position size in order to scalp it back, but that's because I'm not holding through a binary event. Instead, I'm actually kind of playing technicals here.
Yeah, I like it, man.
I mean, NVDS right here. This is a 40-cent pullback from that 37 level that we were just at. So just a monster pullback here. And Nvidia is trying to bounce.
All right, back down close to my entry here for MPC. I'm going to look for another little pop into the 143s to add some, but low amount. Slowly getting into this position.
Nvidia is still bouncing here. See if Nvidia can actually take out this next little leg here. Jan saying Nvidia first support test. Let's see if it breaks down. And this is what I'm watching here, Jan, for a potential NVDS entry. If we do start to break down from here, that entry should serve me well on a scalp. If we break out here, that would be bad. No position right now. I'll let you know if I get filled or if I end up buying here.
All right, watching XOM to see if it's going to make a push to 107. If that starts pushing, I can get out of MPC early with this really, really small loss. So
SPY trying to bounce off the lows here.
We're starting to get that 945 reversal action, it seems like. So this just past 945, going into 950s. Let's start seeing this reverses off the 15s. And so 15-minute going red to green would show you that starting to come its way back. Now let's wonder, does it take the whole candle back on the Qs, or is it just going to be about a half pullback? That's what I'll be looking for on the Qs on the 15-minute. All right, so for MPC, I'm just going to set a stop and stop watching this. It's looking like it's already getting a little bit of a pop there, but I'm willing to take a small risk here, about 25 bucks on the trade. Kind of more of an even swing trade action here. It's already popping there, getting a little bit of a pop as oil makes its way back to the green. Oil's back to green here, so that's definitely the reason why. But overall, I still see those futures dropping pretty fast. So sometimes it does that and then turns completely around. So I'm going to give it a chance here. So it was 143.84s. So it's about a point risk. I'll have to look for more than a point on the reward, though. Already getting that pop up there.
Nvidia is trying to bounce here. Market is still bouncing. SPY's still up.
Well, I'm going to have that stop out there and just wait for that and then go look for other opportunities because I don't want to miss opportunities.
Yeah, that's my
I'm just stuck in MPC. So you can just set the stop there and just stop watching it. Look for these opportunities to come back, right? I've been looking for a stock like AI to come back. Look at this thing. This thing doesn't want to come back at all. Shorters have control, I think, on this one. So what else could I look for? Let's look around, right? What other AI stocks or maybe some growth names like Carvana. Look at that. That definitely got hit out the gates. Upstart. Yeah, definitely taking the hit there. Affirm. This one just doesn't move as fast anymore as it used to. It's another name that we can look for. Looking for growth names around. We're seeing a lot push here. Overall, yeah, there's only 2 sectors in the red. Technology's still red, so we'll see if it comes back. But definitely pushing back here. Let's see what's leading. Looking for some leading stocks here, right? PepsiCo. AEP, American Electric Power. That's interesting to see that. That's utilities. Utilities and real estate, pretty strong today. That's something you see usually lead. Marriott getting a nice little lift. Gilead.
I'm cutting out here a little bit. Nvidia might look like it's going lower here, but I'm nervous to buy.
I don't see a lot of tech there, man, on the rallies. That's the thing. I see a lot of like more growth, not growth, value. So I see some value here moving today. It's interesting. I'm going through it, guys. I'm trying to decipher the rotation today. See like Coke. You see like that tells me that it's more like a defensive day. Look at this Coke move. You see that? It doesn't happen normally. It's at least the fast trading telling me that it wanted to go to value.
Jay saying they're selling Nvidia and buying Dow names like UNH, MACD, Amgen, value. Coke would fit in there. I don't know. Is that in the Dow? Is Coke? I can't even remember. But it is a value name.
Pepsi getting the lift there.
Yep.
You know, and we can take a look at PG. I think was getting a lift yesterday. Nice little lift there, right? Procter & Gamble. So like your defensive names starting to push. That could maybe actually get industrials a little bit higher. Look at the industrials, XLI. That looks pretty good there. So Deere is one that I can be looking for pullback opportunities. I actually been wanting to play Deere again. Will I day trade Deere? I don't think I've done it before, but I can try on this account, guys. So I'm going to look for a little pullback here on Deere. It's already gotten up there towards past the VWAP, so I'd have to look for a little bit of a pullback below 190s towards 189, but I kind of like it here. Just need to get a little bit of a pullback. Not going to chase it, of course. And if I do come after this, it's going to be slow. We're talking like 1 or 2 shares at a time. All right, looking around, guys. It's one of those days. It's going to be a tough one. All right, guys, like always, you guys see trade the pool up in the corners, and you guys can definitely check this out. You guys see me trading it, and let's see what I can do today.
And you're going to see
get back into the green.
And Mitch, you're going to see me going at this next week when I'm back on my computer at home as well. So get ready.
Oh, for sure. I'm excited.
Get ready, baby. I'm excited too.
Yeah, and a lot of the smaller names are still on here.
You know what, though? This actually might be a really good opportunity to focus more on some of those bigger names for this account because all of those seem to be in there. all of these bigger names in ETFs seem to be in there. So maybe this is going to be kind of that impetus to try and drive more strategy on some of the bigger names. We'll see.
Energy still driving. A little bit interesting to see that go against the market so much, but this is going to stop me out really quickly here. Just about a couple cents away from that stop out. It'll be a $25 stop out. It won't be too bad.
Look at Snow, by the way. Snow had good earnings last night, popped higher. It's gone red. Green to red move here on Snow, down 3% now on Snow.
One that affects the other cybersecurity stocks too. PanW in the red there also. CrowdStrike, will that get into the red? That's red there. It's Zscaler. Yeah, pretty red there in cybersecurity today.
Chris asking if Nvidia is trying to find support. Chris, that's what it seems like to me. So right in here, definitely looks like it's finding some support. Another possible entry.
I think Ryan just got the rug pull. Yep. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Dude, disconnect.
Oh, it's bad.
Trapped in.
All right, guys, looking around, I'm seeing a lot of utilities up today, guys. So utility stocks getting a nice little lift here. I'm going to see if utilities continue strong, though, but definitely getting the push. One way to play this could be the XLU on pullbacks. But, man, the XLU, nice little push there. It's getting shattered, man. Internet companies in the red today. There you go. That's what I like to hear, Jesse. I'm glad you send Jason some emails. That's what I love to hear. I love to show up there, and I love even more that you guys show up in his email, and that's what it's all about. Give him some feedback from our live events. Ryan, you ready to hop back in?
I think so, Mitch. I was just trying to say I'm so scared to trade right now. Like, it's not just the computer; it's like my laptop that I have my platform on.
Everything, man.
Bro.
Just take it easy. Just take it easy, guys.
But I want to make money. I want to make money.
I know. I don't need no. That BRSH pulling back here. Starting to go a little sideways. Can I get it to come back? Ooh, now sideways twice at 360s. Is this the level where they come after it? Doesn't look too bad. If I take it right now, it'd have to be off of 367s. I just saw someone go in there a little bit. See if I could get a drop here to 75s and then take it off 66. $75 though. Let me get you 75.
So Smoke Tuna suggesting I get a new MacBook Pro. Becca, of course, razzing me saying I will never go Mac. So I'll never go full Mac. I will never go iPhone. That's for sure. But look, if BZ wanted to get me a new MacBook Pro, yeah, I'd use that. Just saying. For all you guys emailing Jason out there, just saying.
Just saying. I'm gonna wait for this to pull back a little more, guys. I had my earlier level that makes more sense to me. We've gotten a couple of pullbacks. This looks like a little bit of a flag action, so want to give it the chance to come back here to these levels. 75 made sense for me there if I was only going to hold off this support right here, like 66. But if that breaks, just a quick little stop out. And I hate trades where it's going to be like 2 seconds. I feel like those are not usually my strengths. So I'm going to hold that off right there. But what they're talking about, what I mentioned about Jesse, Ryan, is on pre-market prep at the end. I saw Dennis had an old event shirt about our trading summits that we used to do. I never even was a part of one of those. So I need to do I was like, yo, we need to do another trading summit, like a trading event, right?
So
that's what I want to see.
I'm big on that. I'm big on that. I definitely want to be there. I have not been to one of the summits either. And I basically told them, I was like, you guys got to get me there. We got to meet the group. We got to like there's a huge camaraderie amongst our live trading group. I got to be there.
You can see they're trying to take the 380s right now on BRSH, and I could see that they're trying to take the 380s and go back through fours. But we'll see if that holds right now. It held the 65 multiple times. What I'd like to see is those traders get it sounds bad, but they get a little bit trapped as this comes back to 340s right quick, and then it picks right back up. So that's what I'm going to look for, guys. Foot Locker bouncing back today. All right. And we can take a look here at the sectors overall. One thing that I don't want to do is get too stuck, right? I feel like sometimes I get a little stuck. So I want to continue looking for trades out there. You guys mentioned anything that you guys are seeing stay hot. Of course, real estate, utilities, and financial services actually leading today. That's something I did not expect. With JPM up like that, that's pretty interesting to see that those stocks are getting lifts today. Banks are getting lifts today. KRE lifting also. That's something that I didn't expect to see that is clearly showing up. Technology is still the sector in the red today. Could you believe that, guys? I don't think I would have believed that if you would have told me. So let's see if this turns back around. Technology is starting to make its way back. Keep your eyes on the big boys to see if they start making their way back. First one I see that's closest is Meta. Meta looking a little bit stronger than some other ones. So I'll show you guys that action right now. Meta's back there to 298.50s. So we'll look to see what happens if it holds VWAP. But there's some other ones starting to work their way back. Goog was really strong yesterday. Has pulled back some. Will it find some buyers? We'll find out. And Nvidia. I don't expect it to be all red today. Let's see it. Well, can it recover 490s here? Stock sell now making a couple of bottoming actions. So this is interesting. So if you feel we're going to get back into the green today, this could be a bet right here off this like kind of like 2260 area, right? And
Not
so
bad.
it's all depending on how you want to do it, but that looks like a lot of reversal action for me to go off of. And so what does that mean? There's a line in the sand right here around like the 2250s. It's either going to come back here towards 2334s. And what is this? This is good risk to reward for me. And I don't feel that bullish, but with these stocks coming back like they do, and you guys know how the market loves to surprise, it's gone down now. Will we get some green action here? A little part of me is leaning towards the green, even though that's just off of this trade right here. So I'd have to hold off the bottoming action of 50s right now. So let me go to the 5-minute here, see if we got 3 bottoming actions of down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3, up 3. So that's the break of 2280s to the upside. That's where we could continue going to the upside. Down through this low here, that could be the downside continuation because this is the bearish pattern, right? This is a rectangle to the side, right? And it's on the bearish side. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. Let me get a drawing tool here for you guys. Little rectangle action. So you see this? This is what I'm looking at right now, guys. And so this is the way I see it. If it comes back through that 2280s, it could be a bullish sign, right? I could buy it here and risk down below towards 2240s, but you can get a wick through really quickly to stop you out. So I want to see if this candle reverses, goes from red to green. If it does that, I might take my shot and stock sell. Technology worked its way back.
Smoke Tuna is saying there is a ghost in BTAI. Whenever it goes below 4, the ghost will push it back to 4. I'm looking at the chart here, and that absolutely looks like what's going on. Like that is exactly what it looks like every time. This thing was 431 yesterday. So Smoke Tuna, if this holds up, if this pattern holds up, and we trade back to 4 and maybe above 4, this is actually not bad here. Doesn't have the volume that I want, but pretty good pattern nonetheless. ELIQ, Becca, you have mentioned this several times here today. That is now appearing on the relative volume scanner. Kudos to you, Becca. You were on this before. Here, I'm switching to my screen real quick. You were on this before this even appeared on the relative volume scanner. I believe, Becca, you were mentioning it right in here during this first push up right to 180. We're at 213 now. Big volume sticks on the day. For a trade here on ELIQ, I want this to pull back. I feel like I'm chasing right here. Look what it did. Both times it's pulled, all 3 times it's pulled back to the VWAP. It's gone higher here. Let's see if we can get that again. This is a great call here, Becca. Great call.
Wow. Quick down action there in the Qs, man. Quick down action. Not looking good here at all. All those AI names. Look at AI, guys. Pooh! Even a good one like SMCI that was getting the lift yesterday. It's a trap. It's a trap, I say.
I don't have my thing. You're going to have to hold us up, Mitch.
It's a trap. It's a trap. No, I got you. I'll pull it up right now. I'll tell you one thing. This looks trappy as hell to the Bulls, I feel like. Feels like the Bears are taking control here. Tell you one stock that doesn't look good for me either. It's WFG, but I'm going to set the stop on that one a little bit and just let that work.
God, do I take this trade here? Do I trust the technology?
Too downside action, man. I can't find even what to come after. You guys know my kind of strategies. It's not to short those downside moves. And look at the SQQQs taking off there. So I was thinking about Soxel. Nah, brother. It cut on the downside. Let's see if it does a wick recovery. But man, look at even Meta. It was up there at 298. So look at that takedown on Meta. That's a hard candle to the downside there on Meta on the 5-minute. This is not a 1 minute. This is a 5. Nvidia is back at VWAP. It was not my VWAP.
Yeah, it's under VWAP.
Yeah, my thing's far from VWAP. I had a feeling, guys. They didn't show us the money. They didn't show us the money. Seems like it, guys. It seems like it.
We're gonna try some. We're gonna try some NVDS here for a potential scalp. Got to be very careful with my computer.
Actually, I know what I want to go short.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna
go short IonQ. Why am I not shorting IonQ out the gates today, Mitch? This is one of the stocks I want to short out of all the stocks in the market. I feel like this stock has no business being up here. Oof, I'll be looking for this stock to come back for sure on the day. Anything back to the VWAP. Can't chase it here, but that would have been a nasty short out the gates. I'm surprised to see the bank stuff. That's just rotation, I feel like.
Nvidia trying to bounce here in the face of SPY.
Yeah, but it's in the face of everything, man.
Hey, but I mean, it's got the catalyst, so we got to respect it. We'll see if we end up clearing this bounce out or if this goes lower here.
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia could go against the whole market.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I definitely think that leading action's telling us weak action today. Microsoft going down, Apple going down, even Google that was strong coming down a little bit. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be a tech rally here. They would have to extremely buy the dip here. I'm sure this is catching a lot of people by surprise. And again,
didn't catch Dennis by surprise. That's what Chris or Jay was saying earlier. Great call by Dennis. NQ's move was nasty here today.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, majority of my two questions were, I questioned it that the report isn't like as strong as for other AI players and as it is for Nvidia. And then I also questioned, would this report give life to the AI bubble? Some people got mad at me for calling it a bubble again, but hey, that's how it goes. I'm definitely going to call it how I see it. But here's Nvidia back to VWAP.
Yeah, and
we'll
Nvidia's
back there.
Nvidia might break here.
It's trying to make the move up, but it really hasn't gotten back there either. It needs to do this kind of like hold for another 1 minute 30 here. Microsoft, another leg down. Just doesn't look good, guys. Whoever's playing that Sox S probably enjoying it, man. That thing hasn't pulled back at all. Yes. This is the hardest. These are the hardest types of moves, I think, to day trade, at least for me.
Now, see,
I can't chase like this.
Sox S is in the pool, right? All those ETFs are in trade the pool. That's gonna be fine, Mitch. We're gonna have no trouble finding stuff to trade. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, no, there's plenty here, guys. Looking at to see if the airlines can recover today. Cruise lines were strong yesterday. They're trying to recover here. Is this an area that we could be looking for some opportunity today? This doesn't look too bad on Carnival Cruise. It's trying to hold the 16 pullback today. Went right to 1602. Found some buyers. It's back there. Can it take 1632? See. RCL is another one that I'd keep an eye out. See if this can hold the pullback. It's right back towards VWAP. You'd want to see some stocks getting back to the green, though. SPY is still dragging. Qs are still dragging. And that's surprising. It's really a drag there. IWM. IWM's actually green here. That's the interesting part from the open. Of course, not overall, but it's green from the open. That's interesting.
Nvidia trying to break out here, folks. SPY still at the lows. So that doing, like I said, doing this in the face of SPY.
Do I play a VWAP bounce on the IWM? Doesn't look too bad there. Let's see what stocks are making the move in the IWM that are doing well today. Gonna be some smaller names here for sure. HAIN. Interesting one. I'm looking through these. Of course, Guess is a part of this.
They reported earnings.
Yeah, really nice earnings there. That ripped in the pre-market, continuing to rip in the market here. Look at that pre-market action right above the trend line. You guys can see that nice little trend line here out the gates, and then boom, right out the gates, red to green move. And I love how it came to support right out the gates. Give you a really nice opportunity there to catch it at support and then ride this higher. Look how it went just through that 21 to 20. 91s, recovered 21s, and went right back up there. It was actually a pretty nice move there, and guess.
Paul saying if Nvidia dumps at VWAP, watch out. I'm with you there, Paul. I think if it gets rejected at VWAP, there might be a short scalp there. Kind of what I'm waiting on here for a potential NVDS trade.
Foot Locker definitely comes back there. ITOS. Was this one we were looking at?
Yeah, or was it? Yeah, I think it was ITOS. I couldn't remember if it was IOTS or I think it was ITOS. Smoke Tuna wants to take a look at the NEPT chart. We can do that.
This thing came down hard yesterday. Bounced a little bit today.
Let's take a look at Neptune Wellness.
Oh, Brush is back. It did that little 340 touch.
All right, real quick. Looking at Nvidia here, moving lower. We'll check back in on it real quick. Smoke Tuna. Let's take a look at this NEPT that you're looking at. So this daily chart. So I do kind of like this, right? We went as high as 34 cents. We really kind of came back in here. I'm not sure if this is going to break down or move up. Penny stock here. So whatever I think is generally not what happens. But maybe this does curl back up towards that 35 spot. That's 14 cents away from where we're at now. So let's see here on NEPT. I do kind of like this formation, especially if it can show some strength to trade back up here. I do kind of like that, Tuna.
All right, guys, I'm taking a little bit of a shot here on that BRSH on the prop action here, guys. So I just took a 50 shares at 344s. I want to add a little bit of shares below 340s here if I can, and then watch it come back up through 350s and then add there. So there's 339s, and with just for a second there on the offer. I'm looking for like 338s to show up, 337. Even put a limit order out there.
Nvidia possible breakdown spot right here too as it comes back in. Now, the last time it came to this level, it bounced. So let's not assume anything.
Trying to grab a little bit here. A BRSH. Then I want to watch it go red to green there. It just grabbed me a little bit there more. Now I got 340s. Now I just got to respect what I'm going to risk here. So I'm going to risk about 20 bucks there on the downside right now. So that's just going to be as simply as 20 cents here. That's going to be towards the 320s. If I need to get out, that's going to be the 320 area. I want to watch it recover 350s, and then I want to add at 350s, and then from there move my risk to 330s.
All right, let's take a look at Brush here. Nvidia, I made back half of what I lost last night, so maybe I'll just wait until it gets to be a little bit easier to trade. That VWAP rejection, I would have liked to have seen it sell off a little bit quicker. We'll see if it happens with that support. Looking at BRSH here, Mitch, the first thing that I'd be looking at for a long here is a reclaim of that VWAP.
Man, the market does not look good, guys. The market does not look good at all.
Jesse, thanks for joining us this morning. Hopefully you're not cleaning up too much damage. Really appreciate you supporting our show and sending Jason those emails.
This is right now, like, look at this, guys. Look at the Qs, guys. The Qs are just getting pounded here. This is an easy way to just tame the bulls, right? It tamed the bulls today. That's for sure. All right, we'll see what happens there on Brush. Going back to it now, 345. And so now that I start seeing this recover, I want to see this go from red to green candle through the 350s. That's where I want to add and then just take the shot. We'll see what happens here.
What was your first entry on Brush?
I'll tell you right now, it's 344, then 335. You can see it down here. If you guys are looking at the screen right now, I'll put it big here. Let's watch it big here. Let's watch the action, guys. You guys can watch me trade everything and literally watch me as I click everything here. So you guys also see what was this? I drew a pattern here, right? And so what is this? Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Shouldn't break here to 337 anymore. And we've already had our up 3 there. So we're holding here support now. And I want to see it just take really fast at 380s.
So
there's
little
350 showing up. I'm going to take a little bit here to add a little bit, like I've talked about it, and go with the plan.
Little bit of size there at 350. They actually brought in a bid at 349. So that's encouraging to see. Let's see if we can break off this 350 area here. I'll grab a little with you, but I'm going to have a tight stop.
All right, so now I have 343s, and I don't want to add any more up here because it's going to ruin my average. So now at this
350
point,
size.
I just want to see if this can really get taken and then go to 370 on quick move. On through 370s, I won't take profits until I get to close to 4 or 390s. This 380 area, we might run into some selling, so I'm going to be careful there. And then I want to see it really take off through 4. I'm just trying one of these little momentum plays. Let's see what happens, guys. Especially with the Qs going the way they are, it doesn't give me opportunities to make plays in that, right? So I do see if we are seeing, what are we seeing up? We're seeing value names up. Now I'm seeing Kraft Heinz pull back here. This actually looks like a good opportunity for me. I know I'm playing this Brush, but I wouldn't mind just taking 100 shares and doing kind of a very very binary trade right here on this KHC here on this pullback. So doesn't look too bad here on this pullback. Might take a little bit here before it takes off. So I'm going to let it get towards 3360s here, but it doesn't look too bad here on KHC. Let's build a position here.
Raz, good question. When you say tight stop, do you go with USD target or levels? I try never to trade the P&L. So I try not to go off of USD. Sometimes I fail with that. But I'm looking at levels. 350 down here on Brush. Let's see if we can trade above it on Brush. 353, your high here. Yeah, that 350 level definitely key. They're kind of dancing around it here. Let's see if Brush can move off this 350. You were hoping for 380, right, Mitch?
Yeah, I want a quick sweep to 370. That's going to be the resistance, and then we want to see it take 380 even as it keeps going up. So I took a little bit there of KHC. I'm going to keep an eye on that on the side here for me, but I'm trying to kind of work that position through.
Smoke Tuna saying, I don't think Brush has what it takes to take off. So there you go. Keep that in mind. Smoke Tuna, it has not shown that so far. When it took that size at 350, it tried to go, but it really couldn't go more than 3 or 4 cents here. So here we go. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a push this time. Same deal, 353, immediate rejection back to 350, and more sellers there at 350. We'll see if it has this. It really does need to push right here.
All right, here's where KHC starts looking a little bit better. So I'm going to look at maybe adding to KHC on this pullback. All right, so let's take a little bit more KHC on this pullback. Trying to get 33.65s here filled. And I'm keeping an eye on Brush. It's in the green, so I don't have to stress, right? If I look down and I see green, not even stressing. It can do whatever the hell it wants there. Now, if I see it go red really quickly, I'll come right back to it.
I was going to say, let's pump the brakes a little bit there on it doing whatever it wants. Okay, let's have it do what we want, Mitch. That's
the way I think about it. I can't think about it just green, right, Ryan? Because then it's always just like, I just literally say, like, do what you want to do, right? Let the markets determine what it's going to do. All right, so just added a little bit of that KHC. So now I have 75 shares. So now I just got to really just set the stop there, let this trade do its thing, and then I'll be getting out of it through, 33.50s. So let's do 49 here on the stop. All right, so I set my stop here on KHC. I don't have to worry about this no more, and I'm going back to Brush to focus on profits. Hendricks, I need you to lay down, my friend. I need to focus.
Hendricks is not having any of Mitch's trade in action right now.
You know how it is. He's trying to brush this away. I'm trying to brush this up.
I see what you did there. I like it.
You see, you got to be quick on your feet, baby. Quick on your feet.
Look, you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get one past Mitch, I've discovered.
You know, they be like, as soon as I walk in the room.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Brush really struggling with 350 here, pulling back off this. A break below 340, and I'll be out and wait for another setup. Remember, I'm already kind of working off profits from before, from the first scalp on Brush. So at this point, just don't want to let it go red. And that's, Raz, that's probably what you were asking about earlier. Sometimes you'll hear me say, don't let the trade go red. Those are the cases where if you earn profit, if you're going to take another stab at the trade, fine. But if you've already made a successful trade, you kind of have your stop built in, right? You don't want that position to go back red. And if you've already bought and sold and then you're buying back, well, then you're obviously not worried about day trading. So you can continue to do that process, wait for your setup as opposed to reacting. So here with Brush, break below 340, and I'm going to be out, Mitch.
All right, no worries. I will be staying into it till I get through the 333 spot. So you guys see that line there. And the reason why, that's the rule of three for me. And you guys know how I try to stick to that. Impulse waves. Ooh, I can start drawing impulse waves. I need to start doing this for you guys a little bit more, showing you guys some Elliott action. Who wants to see all that action? There's so many tools here to use. Like always, guys, you guys can definitely check out. And you guys see me, I added like a time and sales here to the right. I think that's important to let you guys know. I filter size there. So it's not just those are the only orders that are going through. Is I took away the 100 orders and shares like that. I only care about sizing over a lot of the times over 1,000 because I'm looking for the big boys. The computers, let them trade. I look for this thing to kind of show up right now where you just saw some buying at 350. Things like this is what I'm looking for. So I just see it come in there and I'm like, okay, some people stepping up at 350s. Let's see if they can actually drive it this time and get it through the 380s.
Brush trying here, again, trying to go through 350.
Yeah, it took some shares. Now let's see it actually take the 350s. And I want to see like a quick sweep through 350s, not like where it goes and pauses.
And it did that. It actually took all the shares at 350 out, went to 353, and then immediately got yanked back down.
Yep. So let's see it right now. This candle I shouldn't see it break at 333s, at least from my rule of three. And so I'm going to stick to what? My rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love to do, guys. All right. We'll see if this can really start pushing. KHC pulling back to 65s here. That's okay. You really don't want to see it break the 61 spot. So in like the next, let's say 15 to 20 minutes, I expect KHC back through 33.75s. So I'm still looking at stocks like that I could trade. And I'm really going off of more what's going on in the Qs that's actually green. So a lot of times we can shift into certain areas, and that could be a telling sign. So stocks that are up today. This is an interesting one. PDD. Little PDD action. Marriott's up today. Also looking to see what else is up. Warner Brothers is up. Pepsi still doing well, pulling back now towards the VWAP. So that looks like an opportunity for me. Coke also at VWAP. So we'll see if this is really an energy type of day. So KO, interesting for me here. This VWAP is a little bit higher than my other one. I have one at like 60.59. That seems interesting. We'll see if this comes back up there to 60.85. You can also be kind of taking a look at this with just the staples, right? But definitely interesting day there. Technology still just getting pounded, man. This looks like a profit-taking event for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said at the open here, especially with Nvidia. Nvidia, by the way, retesting those lows here. We'll see if that moves to the lows here again. NVDS possible as another potential scalp there if that happens.
All right, we'll see what happens without that team.
Dude, I got back more than I got back more than half of what I ended up losing on playing the binary event. So right now, like I'm not even really concerned about that miss.
Hey,
I'm
let
not
them
missing
know.
on NVDS. Really, I'm not.
Let them know, guys. We're focused in here. We'll see what happens, but I'm still in this brush. And I think one of the things that I try to do is not get out of the trade and just stick to my objectiveness because of course, right now I'm getting in that indecision mode, and indecision doesn't help you as a trader,
No,
right?
it sure doesn't.
So like, it doesn't matter what happens from here on out. Just stick to the rules. Stick to the rules, Mitch. That's what always matters. That's what I think a lot of traders sometimes struggle with, right? Is that they can't stick to their rules.
Stopped out of brush as it broke beneath 340.
All right, we're getting that attempt, but what I like to see is like we saw right now, wicks. Wicks at the bottom here.
And it bounced.
Why? Because this you see the shares filling also too. At 342, there was some type of buyer that got activated through there. And so now I'm like, okay, now there's some traders are getting out. Do we see that quick reversal? So I'd like to see this go from red to green, not stay red. So that's like a blue candle here for me. I like how Trade the Pool's original coloring isn't green and red. It's blue and a red. I'm actually enjoying this. I actually started doing this a little bit more to try to focus on this. And the big thing is that green and red represent what a lot of the time? Stop and go. Stop and go. That's the way I like to refer to it. Like green light, at the light, what do? You go. Red light, what do? You stop. And I think that our brains are so like, conscious heavy that I think that actually plays into our conscious. So some traders actually like to make colors like very binary. Like,
do you remember when Zunaid tried to change his candle colors and he was completely thrown off for the entire day because he just wasn't used to it?
Yeah,
that's the risk you run. I'm not making fun of them. That's the risk that you run.
No,
you change what you're used to in your platform.
I agree. So now we're getting to that time where I could do what's called like my go or no go point. Do you guys, I want to kind of teach a little bit on this. And sometimes we like to take teaching moments here. And so smash the like out there for a little teaching moment here. And so what I mean by go or no go is that right here at this point, I could have added right there, held break even and look for it to go. So it either takes off or it comes back and break even, stops me out. And so a lot of times I'll only do that if I added, because I did what? I increased risk here for the event.
And look at it now, Mitch. It came back in, flushed me out of the position, and then bounced right back above that 350 level.
Now we're going to expand this line that we were expecting for it to break and hold. Now I need to see what? 5-minute candle close above this line. So above 350 in the next 1 minute and 55 seconds. Will give me conviction that we're heading in the right direction. This is fun, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. All right, like always,
I got stopped out and I'm having fun.
Yeah, It's how it is sometimes. I know that some of you guys tune in and put us on TV. So if you guys see that big QR code on the screen, there's a reason why. Go ahead, see what it's all about, guys. Give that QR code a scan. Check it out. Check out Trade the Pool. Or you guys can hit the link, of course. I'll throw it up in the chat, and you guys can find out in the description below all about it. And get 14 days for free.
Smoke
just to check out
saying
the platform.
they don't have a Mac app. Interesting. That will be feedback that we will submit to them.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Obviously, I know I was getting ribbed on for not wanting to switch to Apple, but I'd still take a MacBook Pro.
I will pass. No, but I do want to make one. I'm ready to make my new computer, Ryan.
Oh, well, see,
I'm ready.
Pay attention to what I said there, Mitch. I said I would take one.
Yeah, I know how that one works.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, guys. So we'll see if this closes there. 31 seconds. KHC starting to come back, so I kind of like the way that's going there.
Nvidia holding 480. Nvidia yeah, I just want to say, because we talked about that being a potential level, and it's holding it right there. So I just wanted to mention real quick. SPY still hitting lows.
366. Q's went to 366, man.
Jay has said it multiple times in the chat here today. The call by Dennis this morning was outstanding. 13. I went over your the technicals that we discussed on Nvidia and the SPY, and if this is a new rally having to go to all-time highs. So I discussed that before you got here. Great to see that you are you reshorted Disney after that, and Disney 52-week lows, right? Oh my God. Look at this move on Disney. Great stuff, 13. Great. Look at this move. I think we break down and go lower here, don't you, 13? This is the big support we talked about.
All right, guys. I did take some Coke there, just to let you guys know.
Oh, by the way, really quickly, I've been working with Zoltan behind the scenes here. I don't know if any of you are still in this or remember this swing. This is EYPT. Now, let's talk about yesterday, right? Because look at what took place yesterday. The stock sold off out of the gate. This stock was 15, sold off out of the gate, and then midday just dumped. There was just no buyers anywhere in sight. Talked with Zoltan this morning. These were planned insider sales. Planned insider sales on EYPT. Today, we're actually getting some recovery. This was on the relative volume scanner. Looks like this is bouncing. This is a red-green move here on EYPT. One thing here is my initial buy was below 8. I think it was like the 790s, and I ended up selling half the position at 11 on its first huge run. So I've actually booked gains and lowered my cost basis lower than 490 here. So I held through all this. Kind of sucked to watch this position really kind of come back in, but nothing has changed here with the thesis. I already have gains booked. I'm above where I bought, so just kind of held this position here. Great to see this recovering. And once I can do some more due diligence, I may actually consider adding to this position, since we've had such an extreme move. This thing was down 30% or so yesterday, 20-something%. So potential add here. By the way, that brush still hanging out around that 350 level.
You know what just happened? Nice confirmation hold now. At this point, I could be smart. I've just got to move up my stop, guys. And so I just got to be smart on this, right? And so I'm going to keep watching it. But, hey, I have my stop in place there to help me. Coke pulling back a little bit there. So I'm going to maybe add to this position, and then I can keep on the rest. What did I kind of stop out there? KHC, I took off the stop, so I need to replace the stop here. I'm just trying to be smart, guys. Trying to be smart there. Today, I'm playing a couple of different plays here.
I like it.
You guys see 3 positions here long and different areas too. And I think that's important. I don't want to play it all in one area. So this is going to be the 3060s now. So I'm only risking about 12 cents here. I'm looking for the move back through 3388s. Because if this is really going to be kind of a value day, these could continue to run. And why? Because the rotation needs to be put on somewhere, right?
Val saying that Trade the Pool does have a Mac app. Okay,
Aha.
so I'm going to have to look into that. Again, I'm just going off of what you guys are saying here. I will look into that. If they do not, I will submit it as feedback. If they do, awesome.
All right, guys, as it starts to get through the 360s, I'm going to probably cancel my 390 sell. Because to tell you the truth, if it could really drive on volume, because that's what it needs now, you're seeing the volume dry up. I need to see volume pump here through 360s and 380s. Then 4 will be kind of a simple wall to see it hold for a second. And if it really gets another ramp of volume through 4, that's where we try to go towards that kind of 935 high. Let's see if they want to take it. Of course, the buyers will need to step up here, and let's see if we get it. At least the rule of 3 is working right now. And all I can do is stick to the rule of 3. Coke pulling back a little bit there. How the Qs is starting to make its way back. It's trying. Let's see if the Qs start making their way back. Man, Microsoft really low. Apple really low.
Tesla, SPY trying to bounce. Apple, I guess, too. We'll see.
It's incredible.
Jim saying, I wish it was later in the day. Your show would be a great drinking game. Jim, I'd like to hear how you would actually use the show as a drinking game. Always excited in new drinking games. But really happy to hear your discipline that you're not out here drinking at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you know, 3 drinks for every time it says the rule of 3. All right, I like it.
Okay.
Well, does that mean you got to take 3 shots? I was one day early on the Lulu. Oh, the Lulu. Lulu giving it up today. Yeah, you're right, my friend. Sometimes I forget about them and you guys don't. I hope somebody was able to nail that. Appreciate the mention, Todd. Look at BRSH, guys. It's starting to go. I got to cancel my sell here. It's going to hit my 390 pretty quickly. All right, canceling anything to sell now. Now we'll be break even on the rest because what? I'm deep into the green. Don't want to let this become a losing position now. So I could always set the market out on the rest if I need to. I could set a stop there, but I don't want to show my hand, but I will get out if I need to.
It's at VWAP here, so be careful.
Yeah, I need to see it continue to lift, right? Volume's not coming in on this move right now. So I could either just sell right here and just take the tiniest amount, but I'm looking for the pop, right? Let's just be honest. But what I won't do now is lose on the position. Brush me on fire. Come on. Maybe I got to sing to this bad boy. Let's see. Let's see. How do we get this thing going today?
Sellers at the VWAP there on Brush, by the way.
I want to play a game. Maybe it's the wrong sound there. Didn't work there.
I'll buy it at a high price.
What is that from?
I have no idea. That's the fun part, Ryan. All right, let's see if this comes back through 350s. I could see maybe a reload at 350s, but I wouldn't want it to break the trend of higher lows right now. The recent low on the last 5-minute candle was 345. I'm in at 343s. So that at least gives me the ability to hold towards that break and look for the continuation. Utilities pulled back, now back at like slightly below VWAP. We'll see if those turn back to the upside. This ELIQ is a small independent power producer that's just ripping today. So if you guys want to take a look at that one, I don't know if you've ever heard of that name, Ryan, but
No, I haven't. This was a Becca call from earlier today. This thing has been an absolute monster.
yeah, and it's in the right area to play, at least from my outlook to the upside. What do I like to see? I like to be trading long in the top 3 sectors from the open. This is something that I've been trying to do more and more, right? If I'm day trading, I should be in the area that's going up. At least that's the way I think.
Yeah.
It's not a bad outlook, right, Ryan?
No, not at all. Yeah, no, trade what's moving. Trade where the strength is. Trade where the mo is. Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting to get out like that, right?
You know what's been interesting here? I know we're bouncing on I thought you had ELIQ.
I can put it up.
Okay, so I know we were bouncing here on ELIQ. Be careful on these bounces. Make sure that when they, like if you're waiting for a bounce to confirm, make sure you don't wait too long, because as that bounces up, the last thing you want to do, see how it just kind of pulled back right there? You don't want to buy that top there. You were talking earlier about process might be actually a better move to wait until that comes into VWAP. We've seen it several times on this name here already today.
All right, now starting to get a little bit of a pullback there in brush, and we'll see if it makes the move back. It did pop through. It went to 68. I think we had the high there, 67. So now let's see if we get the refill close to this 350. Don't want to see it close down here below the 345. It's already approaching that. So it might get me out here. We'll see what happens. Here it goes to that attempt. I'm going to give it 1 second here. If it doesn't recover, I'm out. I'm out. Boom, boom. You have to be quick on that. And they took it to the 33s on the bid side. It could reload there, but I'm not going to fight it, right? So take a small hit there just because of the leak there. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. They did fill up some share size there at 340s, and it could still come back. We'll see what happens. But it didn't really break the 333s, and so maybe that should be where the risk should be set right now. At least my outlook still says that the rule of 3 could hold 333s and come back, but it's not. I'm not going to push it there. It could have easily wiped out through that 333. Let's go back to the other 2 trades. Let's see if the value trades come into work, and I could always add to these as I start to see them go into the green.
Real quick, ELIQ pulling back off that potential bounce spot. Let's see if this gets to the VWAP here. Love seeing this strategy here from Lynn. Lynn saying our strategy, day trade high quality stocks only, because if you make a mistake, they often come back. ATM style, think Tesla. So Lynn and Randy are resident Tesla day traders. They pretty much make bank off just the same stock. But what I like about it is that they're finding patterns, they're understanding what it is that they're good at, and then they're repeatedly hitting that. And that's exactly how you're able to build some gains there. They're saying use high quality stocks because unlike some of these smaller stocks, you're not just going to come all the way back down and stay down. A name like Tesla is a really good example of that. Very, very volatile. The only thing I would say here, obviously, Lynn and Randy have this down already. Just be sure that you're doing this within your allotted risk parameter.
Yeah, that's what matters always. What's interesting is brush is, of course, in that defensive area. And so at least it wasn't the worst area to be in today. Right now, I might get out of Coke here. It isn't looking good. It needs to recover here on the 5-minute. Give me a wick here. Recover back towards 60-40s. If not, I'll get out. Dun, dun, dun.
Setups are looking a little shakier now. We had a couple earlier.
Well.
Yeah, and I know I missed a couple because of my tech issues, but I'm okay with it. Look, I'd rather miss some issues here than have the issue I had a couple of weeks ago where I get stuck in a day trade and my internet goes out. I would rather miss it. So today this was not really bad. I'd be actually pretty pissed if that happened again. ELIQ bouncing here. Let's see if this goes higher on ELIQ.
ELIQ setting up again.
Well, it's trying to bounce.
Well, one way that you can play this for a higher quality and maybe like an ETF would be to look at the XLU today. It's pulled back here to 63.80s. Will it recover 64? That's the outlook that I would give there. And I'll show you guys that right now. XLU is this play right here. So it's slightly below VWAP. Will it hold here and then make the way back up through 64s? Doesn't look too bad. I'm just in already some areas here. So I'm trying to stick to the plays that I have first, and then I'll look to see if I jump in some other ones. That doesn't look too bad either. Coke slowing down here is what I wanted to see, but now I need to see that little recovery candle come in now. There we go. 36. Get back to there towards 60-40s. A little hammer candy, they say. I need some hammer candy.
I think they call them hammer candles, but if you want to call them candies, more power to you, Mitch.
That's what those penny players call them, Ryan. All right, guys, smash the like, guys. We're going to keep going here. In a little bit, we'll get to all access. It's 10:49. Can you believe it, Ryan?
No, it really flew by. And I was like, I had to go to the bathroom an hour ago, but there was a lot of action. So I just kind of held in there.
Hell yeah, it's been a lot of action, guys. We just got to keep going. It's been a fast week today.
Yeah, it sure
this
has.
week. I don't know about you, but it definitely felt like a fast
They're
week.
they're always fast when I'm in the office. That never fails.
Hey,
never fails.
We can never be mad about
A lot of action around here today, huh?
a lot of action, guys. A lot of action.
Home
KHC
alone, baby.
stopping me out there, guys. A small stop out there, guys. That's only a $5 loss there. That's more like a protective. Like, I'm not going to let it break the pattern. It could reverse from there, but we gave it the chance to get above the 33.70s. So it was like a, what was it? Total what? 5-cent loss. So nothing there pretty much. Kind of more paying the commissions. Now watching Coke. This is where I got to determine if I'm going to stay in this kind of defensive play for the rest of the day, or are the Qs going to come back? Is the SPY going to come back? And the play is to play reversals back to the upside. And I'm starting to see that as a possibility here. As you can see, this kind of reversal off of the levels that I'm looking right now. So one way to play this is to maybe play socks out here. Of course, you have to stick it really close to the bottom. But if I can stick to the low of the day or slightly below that, there's a way to play the reversal here off the 64s. Maybe you're holding to 2160. We'll see what happens. All right, Coke trying to make its way back here. I think this is what's going to... I'm going to just keep playing the defensive game today. I don't want to play that sock sell reversal because, man, that was pretty significant sell-off. And if this is going to come back, man, then the computers really tricked us today. So I'm going to play more that we still stay in the defensive names today, and those continue to lift. We'll see what happens. PG has pulled back through 153.50s. Doesn't look too bad for me on there, but it all depends on what happened here, right? If those can't hold, then you'll start seeing that tech trade come back.
And by the way, speaking of coming back, ELIQ that we were watching here off that bounce off the VWAP, there's definitely some size at 330. Like there is definitely some size at 330. So I know it just pulled off that. So maybe a breakout of that level, potential move there. We'll see. Size at 330 if they take it. We'll see if this comes back on.
All right. Disney puts printing says 13. So.
Yep, 13 loves it. He's been all over that.
Yeah, get after that, Disney, man. I don't know, man. Disney has lost its touch.
Sure has.
Lost its touch. And definitely needs to make a massive change to the business. At least that's the way I feel.
I feel the same way.
It could still come back. Don't get me wrong, but there's a little bounce. I'll show you guys that PG here. A little part of me is thinking about taking this one too. The risk and reward is pretty quick here. So I could risk about 10 cents to make a pretty decent amount of money here. Step up to the plate, man. Let's go for it. All right, guys, stepping up to the plate a little bit here. And this one's going to be really, really tight risk to reward on PG. So we're just going to go off the low of the day. It's 33s right now. So I can go ahead and just set that up. I'm going to even use a stop because the truth is that I want to be very careful with this one. It's a little bit of a higher position on capitalization that I'm using. So I got to be really quick with it. So I'm going to go ahead and set it slightly below, but not too below the low, right? If it's 33s, let's just do 30. Give it a little bit of room. We'll do 29. I'll give it one more penny to get through that spot there. So there you guys see it. Really tight risk and reward on a trade for PG here. Procter Gamble. So already kind of getting towards that might trigger me out here. I'm going to give it this tiniest bit of room just to maybe try to catch the move right back up. Because there's always like these little wick tricks. There's a pull towards the 30s. Now I want it to recover. You see, I just came right back to 35. I avoided it triggering me out and the market maker grabbing me right there. So now if it goes to green, I can move it back towards that 30. So if it slightly goes back into green on the 5-minute, I can move it back to 30. There you go. Almost there. Almost back to the green candle there. About 10 seconds left on this candle. I want to see what the next candle opens up. It's not looking good there, but could reverse off of that level. We shouldn't break through that low now. That low is around 153.30s. Testing it here. All right, guys, it's about 10:55. We're about to wrap up and get you guys over to All Access. Stick around, guys. We got a lot more for you guys, always right here on Benzinga. Smash the like. Meow, meow. I like that one, Becca. That one's a good one.
Meow. I like that too.
Meow. That's a good one there. All right, so PG, nice little shift back there. Now towards the 40s, turning into a green candle, so I can bring it closer towards that 30 with the pullback stop out. So it's nice little tight risk to return. If it gets back there to 154, that's a huge risk in return. That's a 5-to-1 outlook here. So we'll see what happens on this trade. And I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm getting a quick little pullback attempt there. It might try to fill me. Just trying to play and maybe move it the tiniest bit to hold it towards that low and it not just get that expansion on the bid and get me filled. So the expansion on the bid is what you see here, where you go when you see it split to 5 to 6. What is that doing a lot of the times? It's trying to fill in some of the downside action and then reverse back. Coke reversing too, so I got to keep an eye out on these positions.
And market is trying to bounce yet again. Nvidia holding this 480, but it does kind of feel heavy. Someone in the chat said that earlier on Nvidia, so we'll see if Nvidia breaks down here.
All right, just gonna go ahead up and set some stops and just let those hold now, because at this point I don't want to push it. Boom, boom. Stops are set. Let them work. All right, guys, that's probably going to do it for us. Like always,
Yes,
me out.
Me out.
Me out, me out, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow, though. Big day tomorrow. We'll see
Yeah.
what the Fed comments from today end up leading to.
Yeah, it's going to be good like always. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my boy Zunaid as I kick out Ryan. Ryan, go get back to work in the office.
You got it.
Tell everybody. I want to hear it.
Okay.
Go yell at him.
I'm not yelling at anybody. Take care, everybody.
He's too nice, guys. This guy, Ryan. All right, guys. We'll get you guys over to All Access. That's coming up next. Let me tune in and see what's going on there. I think they're ready. You ready? You guys ready? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs kind of like, just a little bit up, like kind of like Like how we want the stocks to go right now? No. I don't like that one. All right. We're lukewarm on that one. I'll keep it going, team. We can keep watching my trades action.
We could mess around a little bit. What's up, buddy? How's it been?
Yeah. What's up? What's going on, man? I see a little fresh cut there.
Yeah, it's a few days old, but we do what we do. We do what we do.
Do you ever do some designs? A little swoosh?
I don't have the courage or the coolness or the street cred to pull it off. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe a little BZ on the side if Jason wants to send me a check. You know what I mean?
Ooh, a BZ on the side?
You could do it too. We could get that bag. We could get that bag. You know what I mean?
Right? The little BZ action?
There you go.
There you go.
What are you trading today, man, while we wait on our guest?
Right now, I am trying to do the Warren Buffett trade. Drinking Coke, baby.
Okay.
Yeah. So Coca-Cola, baby. I'm doing a little bit of some value trade right now. So I have PG and I have Coke on. So I'm looking to see if the value trade comes back here, or is it going to be the Qs coming back here, like tech coming back? And the Qs seem like they just don't want to come back at all, man. Like that looks really weak for me. And then so you see this Q move right here. Yeah, they could be probably buying off of those levels right here, the 365.50s, but it hasn't wanted to come back to VWAP yet.
Yeah, I'm looking to go long, possibly around 15,000 on the NQ.
NQ life.
Oh yeah. You know my bop.
You in the future,
means, but you're
in the future, Zunaid.
Yes, which even though I am in the future, I'm still finding ways to lose money. So I don't know what that says about me. But no, I mean it's been a drastic drop today. I'm sure people, when they saw Nvidia earnings yesterday, they thought, all right, cool, we're headed to the upside, this, that, the other. And Nvidia is about maybe $5 away from giving it all back, from breaking even. And by the way, I don't know who traded the options, but man, those premiums were mad high. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. Get yourself a prison cut, man. Listen, there's a picture of me somewhere where I had not a prison cut, but quite a low cut, and my forehead has never looked bigger. It was not fun. It was not good. Not a fun thing to do, but I'm keeping an eye. By the way, one trade here. I'll go ahead and share my charts.
Yeah, do it, man. If you want
to
share,
we'll get going here in a second. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and just show this. So 105 on Nvidia, on AMD is what I'm waiting for. You can see how we had support, finally cracked. Never really got the retest.
Q's another leg lower.
Never really got the retest of 105. So we'll see if that ends up happening. If not, you want to play a little bit of a bounce here at 102. That could be it. But nonetheless, man, let's get going to all access here. I'm going to remove my charts. You do your thing in the back.
Remove me, my friend. You have a good one. You guys take care. I'll see you later on Start Swing Trade, of course. Zunaid, take it over. Go all access on.
Will do. Appreciate that. So much of the conversation has been around Bitcoin, right? I mean, you've got SpaceX that is dumping their Bitcoin. You had the price movement. You've got so many different companies trying to take on the government, this, that, the other. So we figured, hey, we want to go ahead and see what's going on in the Bitcoin world and how you at home can go ahead and invest in Bitcoin, but maybe not directly, maybe with another way. So today we've got Sam Tarbar, who is the CEO of Bit Digital. Ticker on NASDAQ is BT. BT All Access starts right now. Sam, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. There's so much for us to get to, kind of give a little bit of sneak peek of the things I wanted to talk about. And of course, we'll talk about your company specifically as well. But for the folks at home who aren't familiar, if you could explain it to me like I'm five, what is it that your company does?
Bit Digital is a generator of digital assets. We do that sustainably. Our fleet is 99% carbon free. And I say carbon free, not carbon neutral. There's a big difference. We're listed on NASDAQ. Our ticker is BTBT, and we run a great business.
Now, since you brought it up, what is the quick difference there? Because I can kind of take a guess, because one's neutral, but one's that you're completely free. So what's the difference there for you?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend when the audience hears carbon neutral, that's a huge difference from carbon free. When you're carbon neutral, all you're doing really is you're creating the damage, but you're buying certificates to neutralize the damage you've done. We don't believe in that approach. We believe in being carbon free. In other words, just using renewable sources of power. No need to buy certificates to neutralize the crap that you've created, and just become carbon free. That's the real way to do it. We don't think carbon neutrality is really the way forward to power an industry of the future.
Yeah, the way that I kind of see, maybe it's a bad example, is kind of like how you have an income coming in, but then you have liabilities and it kind of just offsets each other versus just having income with no liabilities. I'd rather have that option. But here's the thing, Sam. I talk to my friends about investing in Bitcoin. They get a little skeptical. Then they talk about the Bitcoin miners. Obviously, you're one of them. What would you say to people in terms of, hey, it might be a better option to invest in BTBT rather than investing in Bitcoin itself?
Sure. I mean, there are some technical reasons why people would rather buy security related to Bitcoin as opposed to Bitcoin itself. But on the other hand, if you look at our business, it costs us about $16,000 to make a Bitcoin. Look at how much it costs to buy Bitcoin in the market. So when you're buying a Bitcoin miner that's listed on NASDAQ, what you're doing is you're buying Bitcoin on steroids. That's the thesis. And it has worked for a lot of people. If you look at, for example, our year to date, we're up over 300%. You can't say the same thing about Bitcoin.
No, you cannot. And my portfolio shows that. Let's go back to the carbon free for a second. How do you kind of source your power then? How are you able to achieve that while also staying competitive as well?
Yes, I like that question. It's pretty easy, although it's complicated in execution. We have diversified ourselves in three first-class jurisdictions: the United States, Canada, and Iceland. Very stable jurisdictions, very stable politics. Well, there's a question mark about the US, of course, sometimes.
Of course.
But the point is, these jurisdictions have very stable rule of law where a contract is a contract. So we're not dealing with any funny issues when it comes to contract interpretation in other countries. But with respect to the three countries that we're in, we use renewable sources of power. So in New York, we used, for example, hydro, and we're drawing power from the Niagara River. In Canada, we're using hydro. And in Iceland, we're using geothermal and hydro. Geothermal is volcanic power.
Now, let's stick to, you kind of brought up politics. I'm going to touch base on that. I know when you had Democrats that went and took over as the administration, you had wheat stocks that kind of went through the roof and they started gaining momentum. Are you ever in favor of one party over other? Or if you don't want to answer that, like, are you ever kind of concentrating on the political climate in terms of Bitcoin, in terms of regulation or any of that? Since, I mean, we're about a little over a year from the election.
Yeah, there's this perception that Democrats are against Bitcoin and Republicans are more friendly. That's actually not true. If you look at the Democratic Party, for example, Kennedy is very pro-Bitcoin. And then if you look at, for example, Senator Warren, she's very anti-Bitcoin, and both of them are in the Democratic Party. So there are many examples within parties in which people have different points of views, and I applaud and celebrate that. Diversity of views and diversity of thought is very important within parties, and that should be celebrated and protected. So I don't think it's a blue versus red issue.
Now, you just had your Q2 earnings that were just reported recently. What would you kind of describe your financial health of Bit Digital? And if you want to go over any surface level numbers that you're proud of or what we can look ahead to, please feel free to enlighten us on that.
Sure. I mean, we had a transitional quarter. What I mean by transitional is that we reshuffled some of our portfolio. We have different operators in various jurisdictions, and we have been reshuffling that. When you reshuffle that, you have to unplug the machine. When you unplug the machine, that machine is not making money. So transitional quarters are a little bit more challenging, but despite that, we're up 9%. From quarter to quarter, we've made about 9 million and adjusted EBITDA of 1.9 million. So everything is still positive. We grew our hash rate by 40% from the end of Q1 to Q2. We even announced that we are now going to get to 3.5 exahash by the end of the year, which puts us, it makes us a pretty formidable fleet by the end of the year. We are now 99% carbon free, as mentioned, and our liquidity position is extremely good. Our balance sheet is pristine. We have about, I think, over 65 million of liquidity on our balance sheet. We have absolutely no debt whatsoever. We did not drink the Kool-Aid during frothy days last year. We're buying machines on the cheap as opposed to buying them at the top of the market. So we've been running a very counter-cyclical strategy when it comes to our growth, and it's paid off very handsomely.
Let's take a look into the future, since we talked about the past and the reports of earnings. When you have Bitcoin that kind of halves, right? Does that impact your business in any way? And then how do you kind of position yourself to make sure that you're still getting enough of a reward, enough of a cut to be profitable?
Well, that's one of the reasons why we keep a sharp eye on our balance sheet. It's very important that we can get through any bear market that is thrown our way. We have an incredible burn rate. We could go through a burn rate of a number of years and still be in business. So there is no issue there. But with respect to the economics of a halving, it's split in half. And theoretically, if you look historically, Bitcoin has doubled in value during halvings. So there is that history that gives us comfort. But even if that doesn't happen, and we believe it will happen, but even if it doesn't, we know that machines will be on the cheap if Bitcoin remains running at historical lows. And what we've done during the counter-cyclical strategy is that we buy machines when there's a bear market. And that's really important. So we'll be taking great advantage of that. Why? Because we have a great balance sheet, and we could use our balance sheet to buy these machines when they're on the cheap.
Yeah, because the biggest concern for me, whether you're buying Bitcoin or Bitcoin miners, is the fact that, hey, if the price slashes at half, right? We saw the huge dip when SpaceX sold, but it rebounded quite nicely. Then you've got other individuals that are saying, hey, Bitcoin by the end of 2025, by the end of the decade, could be in six figures, 1 million, this, that, and the other. But what if it goes into, like, let's say we decline 50%? Like, are you still able to stay profitable and, make sure that, hey, because you own, you have quite a bit of Bitcoin from what I understand. But it looks like from your balance sheet perspective, you're not really concerned, and you're positioning yourself well to deal with any catastrophic events like that.
That's correct. That's correct.
Now, your floor is kind of yours. We've talked about, your past, your present, the future, what folks can look into, but, the floor is all yours. If there's anything you want to talk to our viewers about before we wrap this up.
No, I think I've answered all the questions. There's one thing that I would probably mention that Bit Digital does that's also a little bit differently, besides run a very responsible business that's environmentally friendly, is that we do have diversified revenue streams. So what we've done is we've invented a business model called the Bit Digital Flywheel. And what we do there is we take Bitcoin profits and we pour a lot of that, about half of that, in Ethereum. We stake that Ethereum. We take the yield from that Ethereum and pour that back into Bitcoin operations. So no one else is doing that. And if you want to participate in what we believe the smart contract economy, which will happen in the future, BTBT is doing a lot of staking for itself, which is not a regulatory issue. Staking for others is an issue, but staking for yourself isn't. So Bit Digital, I have been understanding a lot of people are looking at the ticker as a proxy for staking as a service, given that's what we're doing for ourselves. So that's another differentiator that our peers have compared to ourselves.
I'm glad you brought up, sorry, one last one for me. I'm glad you brought up the smart contracts, because the first thing that I think of, whether it's appropriate or not, is NFTs. I'm thinking of like NBA Top Shot and a variety of those programs and, gimmicks that were out there, if you will. Are you concerned that, hey, it will always kind of be like, phases that come in with smart contracts? Or do you firmly believe that, hey, that is going to be the future in terms of whether we're buying a house, whether we're doing this or anything else of the norm?
Look, if you recall, I remember in the .com era, people laughed at having websites, and it was just not considered. It was considered a fad. Even Thomas Friedman in the New York Times called the internet a fad, and many people who are wrong eventually, where they realized that the internet ended up inventing new business models. We would never have imagined Uber, for example, in the year 2001. And so you have to give these new technologies some time. And of course, an older generation is not going to look at it friendly because they don't like change. They just want things to stay as it is. But the newer generation, I know a lot of young people in their 20s, they don't even have a broker-dealer account. They trade crypto. And crypto will eventually become normalized. And this newer generation will end up being in the positions of power when it comes to portfolio construction. They'll look at Bitcoin as a proxy to gold. Gold right now is, I think, maybe 15, 20 times more than the market cap of Bitcoin. There's no reason There's no reason. Bitcoin can completely replace gold as a proxy for inflation. And once that younger generation comes into seats of power, you'll see Bitcoin and other crypto classes, other blue chip crypto classes, particularly Ethereum, because it has the ability of doing smart contracts, which Bitcoin can't. It will be, and it will end up being normalized and institutionalized. It's just a question of time. So there's structural upside, but there will be a lot of cyclical ups and downs.
Well, people said it would never reach 20,000 in terms of Bitcoin. Then it did. Then after it fell, it said never going to reach all-time highs. Then it went to like 70 something. So we'll see what the future holds for sure. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you for hanging out with us, Sam.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Till next time. And we appreciate you in the chat for joining us on this lovely conversation of Bit Digital in terms of Bitcoin, the company itself. Again, that was Sam, who is the CEO of Bit Digital. Ticker on NASDAQ is BT. BT, as always, we hope you enjoyed this interview and do your own due diligence. Check out the financials, check out the recent quarterly earnings and see if it's worth investing your hard-earned money. And we appreciate you for joining All Access.